So here's my 2-minute pitch for A Joyful Mind. A Joyful Mind is a center that's reimagining mental health therapy by blending together therapy and holistic wellness through classes like yoga, active recovery techniques, and nutritional coaching. Healing is one of the most powerful things that we can do for ourselves. Healing our minds, healing our bodies, and ultimately healing our souls. But we oftentimes compartmentalize it and put it into different sections. And some of those sections we feel are shameful or not acceptable. When we say to a friend, I'm going to therapy, oftentimes their response is, what's wrong? What happened to you? How can I help? And it's very much a negative and shameful event of something has to be wrong with us in order for us to seek that help that we're looking for. On the flip side, if we tell somebody, I'm going to a yoga class, I'm picking up a cooking class, there's excitement around it. They want to join in. They want to be a part of that community and a part of that change in our lives. And we have to make that the same script all the way across. And that's what a Joyful Mind Center is looking to do. We want to have a place where it's acceptable to have that mental health side that helps us through times of anxiety, times of depression, times of burnout and needing to cope, along with being able to move our bodies and feel that healing deep inside. We want to not only combine these practices, but also show that these practices can exist together and help to reach a new level of healthiness and vitality for people. We want it to be as normal to seek mental health as it is to seek lunch, and teaching people that it's okay to look and value those things the same. Our center is going to offer individual and group sessions to start to build a community of health. We also hope to partner with businesses and schools to offer such things as wellness packages and workshops on self-care, physical and mental healing, and how to upkeep that and how to do it in a community of acceptance. With burnout, anxiety, depression, and loneliness on an all-time rise, A Joyful Mind is a business with a mission to integrate and make accessible care for feeling human and not feeling like you're in a clinical setting. This space is a place where people don't just come to heal, but they come to grow as individuals and inside of our community. So that's my 2-minute pitch. And I can tell by my timer I'm a little bit long, so I know that I need to shorten it and probably be a little bit more direct. So I will certainly be working on that in the weeks to come. Answering the 3 questions that were in the post for this blog. How am I going to test if this is worth pursuing? And really, my 2 ways that I was looking at is through market validation, asking the people around me if this is even a demand, who my potential clients would be. Currently, as a therapist and as a endurance athlete, I know that there's some mix there. I know how many of my friends and some of my clients are using physical activity and physical wellness as a way to support their mental wellness and their mental health, which is great and really shows that there's a place to put a design in that's going to help people to know what that path is and how it looks and how our body feels different when our mind feels different, and to be able to connect all those pieces. I think one of the pieces is the demand such in a local area where actually opening up a brick and mortar is going to be feasible, or looking at diversifying options of having online, having community, like where there's gathering places. So one of the things I'll get to that in the next section. So that's what I was looking at as far as will the market be valuable? Will this be of a value to the market? And then also looking at the financial feasibility. So that kind of goes into what would we have to pay? What would contracts look like for different providers, like having a yoga instructor, having a running instructor, a strength training personnel, and then having like a nutritionalist, and really looking at all of those pieces and how can we incorporate therapy into those. So how the breakdown and packages would work when we're working as a team in looking at those healing opportunities. The other piece that it did ask was how would I test these assumptions? And I think a lot of it to begin with is talking to potential peers and customers. So what would they want to see? How would this work for them? And by peers, I also mean like the other professional entities that I want to integrate. So again, reaching out to yoga instructors, reaching out to strength trainers, and looking at how does this work for them and what would they see as a viable option? What would their cost be to enter into a contract or to have a plan to work within the center? And then looking at pricing and how pricing and billing. So with the therapeutic component, there is an opportunity to look at both self-pay and insurance billing. So those components can work together to a certain extent. Now, granted, a lot of times they won't cover the wellness side, the physical wellness side. And so how does that work? But again, a lot of people are used to, I have to pay for my yoga classes, I have to pay for my gym membership. So if we consolidate that into one, is there a benefit to that? Even if we look at a self-pay model or a sliding scale model potentially, versus just looking at insurance pay. So one of the things I want to look at for testing those assumptions is that viable? And then I think I'd also like to kind of run like a pilot, a little pop-up to see, again, can the financial piece and can the demand be met? And then the last thing real quick before I hit my 7 minutes, the criteria of would it pass or fail is really, is there an interest and is the cost viable over time? And looking at kind of that go, adjust, no-go scenario of, are we good? Like, can we meet all of these pieces? Do we have to adjust somewhere? And or is this an absolute no-go? And that's where I really think that having a pop-up center may be helpful in identifying which one of those categories this would fall into. And also using the pop-up center, if we're sitting in that adjust place, to be able to adjust as many times as possible or as many times as what's needed in order to be successful. So that's my pitch, that's my plan, and I am super excited to work toward that for the next 7 weeks. Thank you.